doing this for X amount of time, like 30 minutes to an hour, it expedited that that pain, that breakup, that healing, right? Because it allowed me to say, okay, no, I'm going to focus on this for this long. So that's training your focus muscle to become stronger, just like you would train a regular muscle at the gym. The more you work it out, the easier it becomes to pick up that weight, right? So the same thing with your focus, right? The more you train your focus to maintain it on the present moment, the easier it'll be for you to relax and to keep it there, and to even notice whenever your body's having an unpleasant sensation so that you can change it. So, I want to talk about how I used mind training to get over my breakup. So, about a year and some change ago, I was broken up with. Um, don't want to get into it, but it was a really big heartbreak for me, and it was really painful. And I was in a really dark place, and I was crying a lot. I like couldn't get out of bed some days. I felt really sad, and I felt like something big was taken away from me. I was definitely more leaning towards the fearful, avoidant attachment style. And I would say now, with my mind training and rewiring, I've been able to switch over to a more secure, or lean towards a more secure attachment style. And I'm very proud of myself because it wasn't easy getting here, but it also wasn't super hard. It just took some practice. And that's where the mind training came in. That's where I was able to start making this into a fun challenge where I became in control of my attention and my focus, because at all times of the day, my focus was just going towards the breakup, towards what it could have been, towards what life would have been like, towards all the mistakes and all the problems, and even it was even going towards the pretty times, right? Towards remembering like all the beautiful times that we had, because remembering that was better than being in the present moment without them. And it was so heartbreaking and exhausting, and I would be just emotionally drained by the end of the day. By midday, actually, I was like wanting to go to bed because I didn't want to get out of that, or because I couldn't get out of that thinking. But thankfully, because of what I do, I realized I was like, no, I can't do this anymore because I'm not happy here, and I am a happy person, and I won't let this breakup take this happiness from me. And I'm so grateful for this personality trait that I have. I am very resilient. Like, I will keep going no matter what. Like, I will drag myself to wherever it is that I want to get to, because I have no choice. Like, for me, I've always had a rough life. I've lived through very traumatic experiences, and I've gotten a lot of out of a lot of dark holes. So I'm very proud of myself for getting myself out of this one too. But it only happened because of practice. I had so much practice through my lifetime that I was able to get out of this one too. And it was because I had also the tools to retain my focus, to um, shift my focus, and just keep it there, right? Keep it in the things that matter and that I'm supposed to be focusing on, so that I could get to where I want to get to. So, one of the tools that was really, really helpful, it's gonna sound silly, but, and very like, duh, but honestly, it was the most powerful one, because it was so simple and it was as much as I could get myself to do. Um, and what that was is basically just a form of meditation. Before you click off, I want you to really just sit with me for a moment and listen to what I gotta say. I set an alarm For some days it was 30 minutes, some days it was an hour. And for that hour, I really challenged myself to gather all my attention and keep trying to bring it back to my five senses, to which part of my body was the most relaxed, and relaxing the jaw, the back of the tongue, and opening up peripheral awareness. Sounds like a lot, but let me just try to make sense of it for you. So I would turn on the clock literally and just sit there, and I would know that in X amount of time that alarm is going to go off, and then I can get up from here. So all the thoughts that I'm having, I want to put aside for this amount of time so that I can really focus and practice retaining control of my focus and my attention. And a lot of times the reasons why we don't meditate is because we're stressed or we're bored, right? But if you made it into a fun game, into a challenge, right? Like something exciting that it's like, now if I do this, I'm going to have control of my mind and then I'm going to be able to accomplish anything I want. So that was like what I had in my mind. It was just like, okay, this is my only shot to getting out of this as fast as possible, and is retaining and maintaining control and my attention on the present moment. So I turned on the alarm. I picked this area out in front of me that I could just see, like a specific area, and I would open my awareness to peripheral awareness so I can see the edges of my vision, right? So it's like a soft gaze, right? When you do that, it taps directly into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is in charge of resting and digesting, because you're not in that tunnel vision where you're focusing and you have sharpness, right? You're more in that relaxed vision when you're like at the beach, relaxing, and you're not really looking at anything specific. So it's like a soft gaze. So you go into the soft gaze, right? And you think about, what do I see? Which is the room, right? And you can go into colors, you can go into like shapes or brightness, right? So what do I see? What do I smell? What do I taste? What do I hear? What do I feel? And just, what do I sense in general? So you cycle through those. And then on top of that, you add which part of the body, of my body, is most relaxed. So now that's five things with the senses, right? Six with peripheral awareness, opening up the peripheral awareness, making sure you're in that kind of vision. Then seven, noticing which part of your body is most relaxed. And then eight, making sure that you're relaxing the jaw and the back of the tongue as you're breathing, right? Because that's also tapped into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is in charge of resting and digesting. So, doing this for X amount of time, like 30 minutes to an hour, it expedited that that pain, that breakup, that healing, right? Because it allowed me to say, okay, no, I'm going to focus on this for this long. So that's training your focus muscle to become stronger, just like you would train a regular muscle at the gym. The more you work it out, the easier it becomes to pick up that weight, right? So the same thing with your focus, right? The more you train your focus to maintain it on the present moment, the easier it'll be for you to relax and to keep it there, and to even notice whenever your body's having an unpleasant sensation so that you can change it, right? So that you can change your thinking pattern or break the loop, right? So that you're not falling back into the cycles that you've been. So that was a really, really life changing exercise. And I highly recommend that you try it. It's a little hard in the beginning if you haven't done that before and if you haven't really developed the meditation practice, but this makes it a little bit more easy than just focusing on your breath or just focus in the present, right? But it's like, how do you do that, right? So this is going to give you step by step on how to do it, right? So you open up peripheral, you think of your five senses, you relax the jaw and the back of the tongue, you realize, you notice which part of your body is the most relaxed, and you cycle through those kinds of thoughts, right? And whenever you notice your thoughts lingering or like drifting away, it's okay. just remember you can bring it back, and don't beat yourself up for letting them go all the way over there. Allow yourself to be like, okay, good job for catching yourself, because your mind likes rewards. When you punish it for going somewhere else, it's like, okay, then I'm not going to notice when I go somewhere else. I'm just going to keep going down somewhere else, because when I notice, you get mad at me. So what you have to do is say, good job for noticing, Crystal. So that part of me that noticed, and be like, now you can bring it back and put that aside for just a moment. And you can start to identify, right, the thoughts that are coming in that are not part of this present moment, right? Because all those other things that I gave you, those 8 things that I told you about, was it eight? Or yeah, it was like 8 things. They're all in the present moment, right? Your five senses are all in the present moment. The part of your body which is most relaxed is here. The jaw, relaxing the jaw and the back of the tongue, is here. And yeah, you can do that all right here, right now. And then the next step to that is that once you've gotten yourself to a good resource state, you could then even do the future memories, right? And building future memories so that your body goes towards that easier, right? So that your external reality starts to become that future memory easier, because you're already living in that future memory, and you feel all the emotions that you feel then. And I know this sounds all like manifestation, because they all kind of intertwine, because it's all about energy. And I'm sure you can tell that when you get around certain people, it's like it feels a little weird, and when you get around other people, it feels better, more energizing. That's all energy, right? We're all energy. So really focusing on the present moment. And another thing that really helped me get over the breakup was journaling. And the way that journaling and mind training come together is super interesting, because when you journal, you can literally see it. You have to, first of all, be present in order to write, because you can't be thinking about 20 other things as you're writing, because then you won't be able to write. So as you're writing, noticing what's coming out and becoming aware of the thoughts, right? Because you are not your thoughts and you are not your feelings. You are only the conscious attention that observes. So, that being said, we need to learn to stop identifying with our thoughts and our feelings, because they're just passing, they're fleeting. So, the more that you train your mind for that amount of time, right? To come to the present moment, to notice which thoughts are here and which thoughts are not, the easier it'll be for you to stop identifying with the thoughts and the feelings of the stories you've been telling yourself about the breakup, or about your own life, and about your self-worth, and whatever it means. So yeah, really allow yourself to start to do the mind training, right? Train your mind for a good amount for the day. And then after, I also suggest that you journal, because the journaling will help you see everything out in front of you and start to notice the patterns. And then you can even dismantle those limiting beliefs, which takes just a bit more of questioning and solution focused mentality, that can help you really decipher everything that is happening internally and get you out of those loops that you build after the breakup. So I highly, highly suggest mind training and journaling in combination to observing your thoughts and your thought life, because that was what made all the change for me. And I know it's hard, and I know you want to go down the loopholes of YouTube with the breakup relationship stuff and advice and coaches, because I was there, and it was a really dark, long loophole. And it was really comforting to know that I wasn't the only one. And sometimes I even got stuck in the get your ex back, all that stuff. And it was just like exhausting. And when I finally surrendered, it was just like, oh my God, thank God. And thankfully, God came into my life even more when I finally surrendered, because it was just like, okay, now you're ready. Now that you've connected to the present moment, and you've fixed the vibration that you were in, and you kind of brought it to a regular vibration where you could actually be present and listen to my voice, to listen to God, listen to the creator, listen to what was coming through, so that I can share, so that I can help my clients, so that I can become the better version of me. it was completely life changing. Like now, whenever I have some of these thoughts from the breakup or from the past experiences that I've had that have like weighed me down so much, I literally just take it all and like put it on his table. And I'm like, I can't worry about this because I literally like I don't know the answers and it's beyond me. So I'm just gonna take all the problems and put it on God's table. Let God handle it because I don't want to. And I can't. Like it's heavy and I think that he's much stronger than I am and he's capable of moving mountains. So I'm grateful that I got to this point, that I was able to do my part to meet God in the middle, and be able to clear my energy, to lift my energy and my vibration, so that I could be present and so that I can build the life that I want with God in the center, right? With God in the middle. And leading me, because I couldn't have done it without him. Like the way he's put people in my life, the way that synchronicities have been happening, I believe that anything is possible when you're in this state. So, and connected to source. So I suggest you get out there and you really try to do some of these things. You got this. Don't let this breakup get to you. I think it's really hard in the beginning, but the more efforts that you try to shift that energy towards self development and building yourself, the easier it'll get with time. And I hope that uh, life gets much better soon. And like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and I hope to see you soon. Peace.